Today, Tashwini has asked a question on paper 2. Okay. I can stop my presentation. Okay. So, all right. So that question done already. Now it's stop broadcast already. Okay. Good notes. Okay. It's very lag. I realized that. Okay, it will be lagging a bit lah, huh? Okay. So we will go on to progression today. Okay, that will be on. Can see my screen, right? Okay, good. Enlarge this one. Okay. So we will start with the basic first. Okay, so that we have. Okay, we start recording already. Okay, so today we will go into chapter 5. Okay, this is chapter 5 progression. So big. Okay. All right. So for this one, this chapter is actually how to say it is simple, but again the question can be tough because there is a lot of interpretation that you have to do on your own in order for you to answer the question. I think those who have started to try, right, you will understand what I'm saying because as you solve, you realize that yeah, it's true that this chapter only have two types of progression. One is called arithmetic progression, or we call AP. Another one is GP. Okay, so even though only two types and there's only 5 formula involved, but when you solve for questions, it is tough because the complicating part is that you may not interpret the question correctly to answer it. Okay, but no worries, try to solve as much, okay, so that you gain experience from that. Okay, let's say we start with this simple question first. Okay, question 1. Okay, there are the first 3 terms, so it mentioned the first 3 term. Okay, it's very important to have first. Okay, if they didn't mention the first 3 terms, these 3 terms can be in the middle. Okay, so the first 3 terms of arithmetic progressions are 95, P, and 85. So they ask you to find P. Okay, and it's mentioned that it is AP. Right, so what do you call that? You have to know that the first term, okay, for an AP, right? First term, it's always A. Okay, so here it's given the A is 95, right? Which is your T1. Okay, and then so you have T1, you have T2, you have T3, right? And they are 95. And then another one is P, and then another one is 85. Okay, so when they ask you to find the value of P, this one is very easy because you know that between these two, 95 minus 85, you actually get 10, isn't it? So when you get 10, it is 2 gap in between. Why do I say 2 gap? Because one is over here, you should have plus something, then another one that you plus something. So which means that 2 times of addition, right? Or we should say 2 times of minus here lah. So you will take the usually when you want to find the difference, right? Okay, when I do like that, right, I must bear in mind that the number actually gets smaller, so I should add a negative myself. Okay, or you can do D3 minus D1, meaning you take 85 minus 95, which you see you will get negative 10. Then only you know that there should be 2 times of addition here. Then you divide it by 2. Okay, so you're getting negative 5. So now you aware that from here to here you actually minus 5. And then from P to here you minus another 5. So it makes sense, right? 95 become 90, then become 85. So P is equals to 95 minus 5, which give you 90. Okay, that's it. Is it clear? Yes? Can I see thumbs up if it's okay for you, part A? It's very simple, right? Okay, good. So this one is part A. All right, let's move on. Part B, it says that the number of terms if the last term is 5. Okay, so last term is 5, which means this is Tn. Okay, last term is Tn, it's 5. Okay, which means you don't know how many term is that, but you know that it is the last term. Okay, so Tn equals to 5. Remember what's the formula for Tn? Okay, Tn will be A plus n minus 1 d, which means the first term plus n minus 1 terms of um, number that you have to add or minus. Okay, so this one here, A plus n minus 1 times d equals to 5. So here you have A, isn't it? Okay, you have your A, which is the first term, 95. Okay, and then you plus with n minus 1, which you don't know how many is that, but you know the d is negative 5, which eventually comes to 5. Okay, so now you can do whatever maths that you know. Okay, whether this one, okay, you have to minus 5 9 means negative 5 times n, you get negative 5n, negative 5n, and then negative 5 times negative 1, you are getting plus 5. Am I right? Then the 95, you can move to the other side. Okay, become minus, sorry, it should be 5 minus 95, right? Okay, so with that, minus 5n, it's equals to, okay, here you will get minus 90 itself. And don't forget the minus 5 also have to be minus here. Okay, so you will get minus 5n equals to negative 95. So to find n, how you will do? Negative 95 divided by negative 5. Calculator, it shall give you 14. 155 19. Am I right? Press calculator and see, everybody. Negative 95 divided by negative 5. What do you get? Should be 19, huh? So you know that the part B, the answer is 19. At the 19 terms, you will have the last term as 5. Is that okay? Better or not? Yes or no? Can I see hands if you're okay? Good. Okay. Rachel, okay or not, Rachel? Can follow and touch. Okay, now we move on to question number 3. Okay, question number 3, when they give you their own terms, right, you will use back that. Okay, so you can see question number 3 here. So let me use blue color for question number 3 over here. So it says that Tn is equals to 3n minus 8. This is already given. This is already given. You will make use of this. Okay, yeah, you can put down your hand already, Padme. Or you have a question, Padme? No, okay. So when they give you the Tn terms, you use whatever that is given. Okay, if they what do you call it? If they don't give you, then only you use the Tn equals to a plus n minus 1d. All right, so you move on to this one. Okay, they told you that the term n terms is represented by this Tn equals to 3n minus 8. So they ask you to find the first 3 terms of the progression. They want to know the T1, T2, and T3. They don't want the sum. Okay, so which means now you have to find T1, okay, the first term. So it will be 3 times 1 minus 8, which will give you 3 minus 8, and you are getting a negative 5. T2, it will be 3 times 2 minus 8, right? So it will give you negative 2. Okay, and then T3 will be 3 times 3 minus 8, which give you 1. Hence, you must answer the first three terms are -5, comma, -2, comma 1. Is it clear? That is how you answer questions. All right. So these two questions basically tells about the basic for T anthem. Okay. Yeah. Any question you want to ask? If no, then we move on to the next one. Okay. Now we move on to the question with okay, let's say we solve you see there are how the question can change is roughly like that. We look at question number 5. Okay, question number 5 says that the sum of the first three terms, okay, they give you the sum now. Okay, the sum of the first three terms the sum of the first three terms of an AP is 27 and the common difference is 5. Okay, so they ask you to find the first three terms of the progression, and then given that the n term is 39, find the value of n. Okay, so for question like that, how do you start? You need to know that Sn, or rather S3, because they give you first three terms, right? So you highlight first three terms. Okay, is 27, and then you have common difference 5, which is your D equals to 5. Okay, so for this case you have to understand the concept for sum, which is you are totaling up. Okay, so sum will be Sn. Okay, let me use here. Okay, Sn equals to n over 2 a plus l. That is the first way you can use the sum formula if you know the first and the last term. Or you can use n over 2 bracket 2a bracket 2a plus n minus 1 d. Okay, so this is the second formula. They are both referring to sum of the terms. And remember, for this sum of the terms, they always start from S1 onwards up to Sn. Okay, it always started from S1 unless they mention that it is, let's say, S9 to S12. Okay, then if you want to find only S9 to S12, which means you also have to use, okay, because why? S9 to S12, which means they are only interested from 9 to 12, which means you have to take S12, okay, which is the sum of 12 terms, minus out the first 8 terms. Then only you will get S9 up to S12. Is this okay? Can I see hands if you can understand? Can let me? Yeah, this one we have discussed last year when we talk about this chapter, right? Okay, so now we're going to use this concept to help us. So let's move on to solve question number 5. Okay, so it says that the sum of first three terms, so I'm going to put S3, okay, equals to 27, and given my D is 5. Okay, so S of the first three terms, S3. So here I'm going to use the second formula, right? Because I don't know my last term. Okay, it doesn't tells me. So S3, which means it will be, okay, here you have to find out the first term first, right? You see, when you interpret the question, right, you have the sum of the first three terms, which means T1 plus T2 plus T3, right? T1 plus T2 plus T3 equals to 27. Okay, so you T3, not 3. Okay, you can have option actually where if you don't want to use the sum formula, in this case, because the terms total up is very small, so you can still think of it like this way, okay, where you have A, which is the first term, and then the second term is what? Because Tn is A plus n minus 1d. Recall that? Okay, Tn. So here T2 will be A plus d, right? That is for T2. okay, and then plus D3, which is A plus 2D, total 27. Am I right? So in this case, I'm going to add up all the D first, which means here I got A plus A plus A. So I got 3A. Then I plus 1D plus 2D, 3D, right, equals to 27. And I know that my D is 5, okay, equals to 27. So which means my 3A can be equals to 27 minus 15, right? Okay, which will give me A is actually 12 divided by 3, which give me 4. So now I know my first term is 4. So to answer to that, right, but A, the first term will be 4. The next one will be 4 plus 5 will be 9. And then the last term will be 9 plus 5 will be 14. Is that okay? So this is an easier way lah. Rather than, alternatively, you can put S3 also. But then I don't quite like S3 because the formula is like a bit scary, isn't it? The formula is like a bit scary. Okay, let's say I try to use the formula to solve. Okay, let's say we try. Yeah, we try to use the formula to solve alternative way. Yeah, so 5A, I try to solve here, method 2. Okay, method 2, whereby I use my S3 equals to n over 2 bracket 2A and then n plus 2A plus n minus 1 d. Okay, so this one is given 27, right? Oh, and then your n over 2, which you know is 3 over 2, and then your 2a you don't know, so n minus 1 is your 2d times 5. Okay, so put in whatever that oh, okay, this one is 5 times 2. Okay, so now when you're solving this type of question, right, please be super duper careful. Why? Because you come to this part, right, you have two choice. If you realize that, one choice is you multiply first, which means you take the 27 times 2 first. Then the other side you left with 3 bracket 2a plus 10. Am I right? So you can do like that. Okay, then this way is always safest. Why? Because your divide by 2, you multiply up to the other side first. Okay, then you will never go wrong. So this way it's better because like that you're going to get 6a plus 30, right? Then your 6a will become 54 minus 30. Okay, then your a will be 30, very ugly. Let me write again. Okay, 30. Okay, 54 minus 30, yeah. Then my a will be 24 divided by 6, which will be 4. I still get the same answer. And alternatively, okay, why do I show this one? Because I want to highlight that a lot of you will have problem, especially if you do like that. You see, I tell you where's your problem. When every year we mark your paper, right? You very geram one, you know. You see here, this one you got 2a plus 10, right? A lot of you will happily like that one. And I do for you. 2 cancel here. Then you forgot to simplify the 2 at the 10 at the back. Which is very bad. Like that, the whole thing wrong already, you know. Even though you got the first, okay, like that, you can only get 1 mark because you could only get here 1 mark. And then the subsequent one, all wrong. Okay, so you may lose mark here, which I want to highlight to you that don't do that. Okay, so if you want to do this way, right, the best way is 3 over 2. You take out the 2 first so that you left a plus 5. If you really want to do it this way, then your 2 and 2 cancel off. Then only you left 3a plus 5 equals to 27. Okay, I need to highlight this. Okay, need to highlight this because remember that you have to take out the 2 first, so that it's safest that you will always simplify for both 2a and also 10. All right, then only you continue to solve and you will definitely get a 3a itself, and then you will get 20. I forgot to times here. This one should be 15. Okay, this one should be 15. So you will have 3a equals to 12, again a equals to 4. Same thing lah. You get me? I want to highlight this to you because I don't want you to do the same silly mistake or careless mistake. Okay, so always you have to take precaution. You know you are the careless type, so you have to always remember that, okay, I want to simplify the 2, so I take out. Okay, now most of the time you cannot do like this. Most of the time you cannot use this star way, okay, because the 2 here cannot be cancelled off with the thing inside. Okay, you cannot cancel off with the thing inside. So that's why I always say that this one is a preferable way where you take the 2 to multiply to the other side first, because multiply always boleh jalan one, right? Only the division that is problem, because sometimes you may not always get multiple of 2. Okay, can I see thumbs up for this part? Okay, good. Yeah, yeah, be very careful with that. All right, good. At least we can solve this one. Okay, part B. Part B, they told us that ninth term, nth term is 39. So find the nth term. So again, the same lah. So part B, this one become easy busy, right? Why? Because you already know that you want to find Tn. Okay, you want to find Tn, which is equals to 39. So Tn is A, which is 4, plus n minus 1 times D. D is your 5, right? So this one is a repetition of the question in front. Okay, so we do it very quickly. 5n minus 5 equals to 35, because you minus 4, right? Then you have 5n equals to the 40, right? Equals to 40, because you bring here to plus 5, then your n equals to 8. Okay, n equals to 8. Everybody can follow me, right? Okay, so number 6 should be okay lah, huh? Because you see number 6 is just telling you that, okay, first 3 terms again, then I ask you to find the number of terms needed for its sum to be 117, which means they want Sn to be equals to 117. Then you just find out what is the Sn, no? Because you got A, you got the N, you got the A, you got the D. Okay, you can find out very easily. Can we go on to number 8? Okay, we try number 8, all right? Okay, so number 8, okay, let me do it here. They said that sum of the first 20 terms, okay, so sum of the first 20 terms of an arithmetic progression is 3 times the sum of the first 10 terms, is 3 times the sum of the first 10 terms. Okay, so read the question again just in case that we interpret wrongly. Okay, the sum, okay, I highlight. Okay, the sum of the first 20 terms is 3 times the sum of its first 10 terms. Okay, so now they want the relation between the first term and the common difference. Okay, they want the relation only. They didn't ask you to find the value. Okay, so now we do whatever we can. We know that S20 will be 20 over 2, okay, bracket 2a plus n minus 1, 19d, right? Okay, this one is actually equals to 3 times of 10 over 2 bracket 2a plus 9d, right? This is what that we know. So simplify now. Okay, so here this one we can cancel off, huh? So you will left with 10 and then bracket 2a plus 19d, okay, which is the same as 3 times of 5 2a plus did I write wrongly? Let me see here. Okay, 19d and this one is 9d, correct. Okay, then let us simplify. Okay, whatever that we can simplify, multiply in first, because they just want the relation of a and d, which means you just have to find maybe a equals to how many d, things like that. Okay, so here we multiply or we expand whatever that we can. Okay, so you can see here that, let me write in this way. We have this one. Oh, I write like that, easier to see. Okay, plus 19d, it's equals to 15. Okay, and then 2a plus 9d. So basically, when you see like that, right, you know that, okay, maybe you need to do something. Maybe you want to expand first. Okay, let's say 20. Just put in first lah. Okay, just in case. So 20a plus 190d equals to, this one will be 30a plus 9545 135d. Okay, now easier, right? So you're going to move all the a to one side and all the d to one side. Okay, so 20a and 30a, maybe perhaps positive one, so we will take 30a minus 20a on this side. Okay, then the 190d, we leave it here, we minus 135d. So now we have 10a equals to, this one you will left what? Take out calculator please. 190 minus 135, you get 55, right? 55d. Okay, so they just want the relationship between the a and the d. Okay, so in this case you can either stop here, but I would recommend you to always leave maybe a alone. So you have 55 over 10d, okay, which will be your fraction. Right, let me see here. Yeah, so you will make it become 11 over 2, right? Calculator. So this is your relation. Is it okay? Taishan, you are still raising hand. You got problem? No? Okay. Is it okay, everybody?
Yep.
Yep, good. All right. Yeah, Jaslyn is finally here. Woke out already, yeah?
Sorry,
Never mind.
but
All right.
I
Yeah.
was very tired yesterday, so
Why
I
you?
blacked out.
Okay. No problem. Okay, let's move on to part B. Okay, let's move on to part B. Part B, let me use a blue pen here. Okay, part B. Okay, so they say they want the first three term again if D is negative 2, right? So now, since you got your formula for A already, then just apply lah. You found this, right? The A from the part A, and then they are under the same big question. So you can just apply that A is actually equals to 11 over 2D, right? Just now we find out that A is 11 over 2d. Yes, so given d is negative 2, then we just multiply in, so we are getting negative 11. Give me. Okay, then, so now you got the first term. You know that t2 will be negative 11. You have to again minus another 2, negative 13, right? Then t3 will be negative 13 minus 2, then you will get negative 15. Okay, so hence the first three terms will be negative 11, negative 13, negative 15. Good? Yeah. Okay. Can I see thumbs up? Are you solving together with me or not? Or you are not? I'm still at AP, I'm going to move
Hey,
to
teacher,
GP now.
I'm
Yes.
trying,
Yeah,
but
okay.
I just take a while, so sorry.
No worry. Try together with me also, so that you will feel like mastering it lah. If you just keep sitting and listen to me, you're gonna fall asleep because it's early in the morning, and then the psychology will tell you that you are at home, so cozy. Slowly you will go to the dreamland. Rachel, right? I know that you are laughing there, Rachel. Rachel is there or not, by the way? Rachel, you are really not there. Ah, yes. Okay. Okay, let's move on. So can I move on to GP already?
Hey, teacher, so I guess
Mm. Yeah, you say?
um a minus 20a becomes 10a.
Huh? A minus 20A become 10A?
Yeah, earlier.
Oh, sorry. Eh, where am I here? Is it you are here? You
Oh
are here?
yeah.
It's
Hold on.
30A minus 20A.
Wait. So the answer is 55 over then.
Yeah, Wei-Ning is in. All right, good morning, Wei-Ning. Okay, so can I move on or not? Jess?
Okay,
Yes, huh?
okay.
All right.
But teacher, are you gonna
Mm.
post later?
Yes, I'm going to post. Sorry that last week one I didn't post yet because that's this one thing that I don't like about the apps is that it will freeze me because I didn't buy it. So they don't allow me to actually send out anything.
Oh no.
Yeah, but never mind. It says that you will be okay to use. It will be renewed on today. So hopefully I can. Okay. So let's move on to the next one. Okay. So we will solve, say, let me see this question. Okay, this one is okay. I think it's good to use this one. Mm, okay, number nine. Number nine. Okay. Mm, yeah. Should we try this one? Okay, 9B. Okay, 9B is okay, but questions. Everybody, can you see the questions? Okay. All right. Yes. Given that 3 over h. Okay. Uh, Everybody is with me, right? Okay. So this one, it's you have to use the concept of GP already. Okay. So here, why? Because GP you have again the same thing, the TN, the SN, and one more about GP is that you have this, which is the sum to the infinity. Okay, because you know that actually this 3 over h is a 0.03333333. I should say 0.0303030303 like that. So they will ask you to find the value of h. Okay, so in this case you have to see that okay, they are the sum to the infinity, right? H is a positive integer, so they ask us to find the h.
Hey teacher, if I
Mm.
type it into my calculator, um, it's 1 over 33.
No.
Okay,
Okay, let's do it's not 1 over 33. 1 over 33, yeah. Actually, it's 1 over 33, you're right. But then here they tell you that it's 3 over h. So you have to
the
times 3.
question is wrong.
No, the question is not wrong. The question is trying to trick you that they want 3 over h and not 1 over 33. So in order to make 1 become 3, you times 3. So the h also you times 3. Oh. And the 33 also you times 3. Oh, so it becomes h. All right. So let's do this one. Okay. Now, how do you interpret this one? Okay. Here it tells you that this is your T1, right?
Teacher, wait, I got it. It's
You got it right.
99.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. But you didn't show any working. Also tak boleh. Okay. So now you still need to know how to work it out. Okay. So this is your T1, right? This is your T2. This is your T3. Okay. So in that case, we can find out our R, isn't it? Why? Because you need to understand, if it is your GP, if it's your GP, the first term is A, second term is A times R, third term is A times R square, right? So the difference between them is always multiply R, right? Okay, so in this case, I can find out my R first, right? Okay, because why? Again, the sum to the infinity, the formula is what? A over 1 minus R. So I have my A now. I just need to find out what's my R. Okay, so I can find my R now. From this case, I can take my 0.0003 divided by 0.03, right? In this case, you will get what? 0.01. Am I right? So now you have it already. So put it into the formula. Okay. A is 0.03 over 1 minus R, 0.01. That's how, if you use calculator, you will come to 0.03 divide by calculator, 0.99 lah here. Right, so you'll get 3 over 99. Hence, it says that 3 over h equals to 3 over 99. Hence, I can declare that h is 99. Is it okay?
I'm a genius.
Okay lah. In this case, yes lah. How about the rest? Is that okay? I want to purposely highlight this because a lot of you look at this question, you will thought that it is your AP, right? Because why you see the plus? A lot of you found that, okay, it is plus, then you will tend to, the plus here will be misleading, okay? The plus here is not to tell you that they are AP, but they are GP because of this keyword here. It's an infinite series. Okay, it's an infinite
Hey
series.
teacher, so this means that S infinity is 3 over 99.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean?
No, I just S infinity is 3 over 99. Because usually when they
Yeah.
say infinity got no value and because it's too big or too small.
No, you don't understand. Here you are not finding the amount of infinity. Here it just tells you that if you sum that
Ah, okay.
GP infinitely, then you will finally come to the total is 3 over 99.
The sum
It's the
of
sum
the
is there.
okay.
Infinite series, which means here it can be plusing a lot more, right? This one you can continue to have 0.00000003 like that. Do you get me? That is the infinite thing. It's still infinite, which means you still don't know how many terms are there, but you just know that as you add them, as the number become smaller and smaller, you can roughly estimate that they are equals to 3 over 99. That's the whole concept. Is it okay better? Yep, everybody? Can please try this paper, yeah, because there are some questions from this paper, in your trial. Okay. All right, that's the only hint that I can give you because you're attending a lesson on this cozy Saturday morning. All right, let's move on. Let's see, now we are at what time already? 8:16 already. Let's move on to paper 2. Okay, we solve tougher question. Okay lah. Let's do one more questions that is on GP. Okay, this one. Okay, let me see here. Yeah. Shall we try okay, 14? A is arithmetic and geometric. Okay. Yeah, it's good. Let us try 14. Okay. So let us do 14 first. Let me use black. Okay. So 14. Let's do 14A here. All right. How many terms of an arithmetic progression of 12.5? Okay. Okay, which means they start from here. Be careful. If they do like that, okay, dot first, then only 12.5. That tells you that 12.5 is not the first term because they are dot in front. But here you can see that they didn't mention 12.5 in front got dot, which means you can happily use 12.5 as the let me see. Yeah, as the first term. Okay, so you have 12.5 and then 14.5. Okay, 14.5, another one is 16.5. Okay, so how many terms are needed for the sum to be exceeding? So what you want to find is Sn more than 631. Everybody take up paper and do together with me, okay? Yeah, how many terms are there needed to become more than 631? So here in clearly you need to use the sum, right? The Sn. Okay, so let us put that the A that we know is 12.5. The D we can find out here, right? It's
2.
14.5. Yes, minus 12.5, you get root 2. Okay, so now Sn more than 631. So Sn is n over 2, okay, and then bracket 2 times 12.5 plus n minus 1 d, which is 2, and it's bigger than 631. Okay, plus n minus 1
So like just to be safe,
over
we just put
2.
a very big number for n. So let's go with 7.
No, I don't think that you should
Oh,
play this guessing game. Instead, you need to learn the correct way to solve it. All right, which is like this one I told you before just now. The safest way is always to bring the 2 to the other side first. Why? So that later on you won't have problem dealing with it. Okay, so you can do like that, where you have your n left here, the 2 go to the other side. So later on it will be more than 1262. Okay, so here you will end up with n alone. 2 times 12.5, 25, and then plus 2n minus 2. This one all expanded, okay, then yeah, all right, 25 plus 2n minus 2. Okay, so that is on the left. So then now expand this, 25n plus 2n square minus a, sorry, this one can actually simplify first, making it 25 minus 2, 23. Okay, so I'm gonna make this 23 easier to do. 23n. Okay, then minus 2n square minus 1262, bigger than 0. Then you solve quadratic. This way it's a smarter way because you don't waste time in guessing. Okay, moving on. So everything is multiple of 2, and there's an inequality of 0, so I can simplify by dividing 2. So now dividing 2, is it advisable? No need lah, because later your 23 cannot, it's going to have fraction, you will have a hard time. So use calculator now. Okay, calculator. Anyone? Use your calculator, please. Tell me what does it equal to. Okay, Padme, can you give me your answer? Or Tana?
teacher.
What is your n? What is your n? Is it beautiful answer or
Um,
ugly
uh,
answer?
eh, okay, so it's 245.58 to
Ugly answer.
5735.
Yeah, so it's ugly answer.
Eh,
So I cannot do it like that, right? It's an ugly number. So what can I do is that uh we have to put our n here. We have to do the formula.
no.
Yeah, we have to do the formula because it's ugly number. What to do, right? So you have to do the formula, which is your minus b plus minus square root b square minus 4ac. Yeah, the what do you call that? B square minus 4ac. Yes, inside, and then over 2a.
Wait,
Right.
teacher, wait. We see the pattern got 0.5 and then it says 245.5.
Hmm.
We just take the 0.5.
No, you cannot do like that.
Eh,
No, okay, cannot. It's not right. And then some more, remember in your factorization method you don't allow decimals. Okay, so that is why you need to proceed this way. Okay, now this expression, it's bigger than 0. Do you see that? So now you're going to put it like n is also bigger than, then you put your formula, b square. So here, if you cannot, then you write down one more line. A equals to 2, B equals to 23, C equals to minus 1262. Okay, so n will be always bigger than. Okay, now you start to put in. Okay, so remember why you put bigger than is because you're following this one. Here bigger than, here bigger than, here bigger than. Okay, bigger than. Yeah, so minus b minus 23 plus minus square root minus b plus minus square root b square 23 square minus 4ac. Now remember that this type of question is purposely to test you. Okay, they want to see this line because this line itself will give you marks. Without this line, everything subsequent will be 0. I repeat, this one, when they purposely give this kind of number, which means they want to see how you solve it. So if you go and do factorization, straight away you lost 2 marks. Why? Because they don't see this one and they don't see the final answer. So what they want is this one, you must show. So got 1 mark. Yeah. Then we move on. And should be bigger than this one. Press
Hey,
calculator
teacher,
10
do you
already.
want the value or do you not want the value?
Yeah, I want the value.
So negative 31.52.
Negative 31.52 some more. Because it's a plus minus ma. Right? Do you get me? I want another value also.
20.02.
Yes. Okay. You can straight away come to this point. Okay. Then you will say that this one you ignore.
Wait a
Why do you
minute, teacher.
ignore? Huh?
Teacher, our answers are the same as when the calculator gave us. We could have just straight away.
Yeah, you can. Okay, because the in between calculation they don't actually put into account, they just want you to see this step. Okay, now one thing is that you know the number of terms cannot be negative, right? So you ignore this part, and then your n they want bigger than 20 point something, so the n should be equals to 21. That's it. Okay, so hence. Okay, done everybody. I want to move on to part 2. Can I see thumbs up if you're okay? 10 now, it's good. Some more. Santini, you're doing? Salina?
Wait a minute, teacher. How is n equals to 21?
Because n must be bigger than 20.02. So any integers that is nearest to 20.02 should
Oh,
be 21.
okay.
That's a bigger sign there. Okay, moving on. Let's put it short in this case. Okay, I want to rephrase again this question. So when you see this kind of question, right, remember, okay, they want the sum. Put in the sum formula and then just expand everything, rearrange, and then you realize that it's quadratic, which means you have to factorize it. But then you press calculator first and you realize that it's an ugly number. So it back to the knowledge of chapter 2, form 4, where you have to know that it's ugly number, you have to use formula. Okay, because there's no way you use completing the square here, isn't it? Because you're not plotting the graph. Okay, so now you have your formula putting in. Then actually the plus minus here, I want to highlight a bit. The plus minus here, after you know that you don't actually need this one, so maybe it sends us some hint that you just have to focus on the plus will do. Do you understand? The minus you can ignore because the minus is the one that give you the negative 31.52, which in the end you will ignore. Okay, so that give you a hint that you can just do the plus for this case because you are solving for a number of terms. Okay, then moving on to B. Okay, so Tn. So now they told you that this is a GP, right? So GP Tn is 9 over 4 power R power n minus 1. So remember that power n minus 1 applies to R. Okay, so now they told you that with the condition that R is not equals to K. So state the value of K. In this case, you have to understand Everything in GP is the power of R that is changing, isn't it? Because every term is multiplying with R. So in this case, can your R be equals to 0? Do you get me, Anat? Which means your R cannot be power 0. If your R is power 0, right,
There's no
then
equation to do.
yeah, that it won't become a progression already. It will just be a fixed value. That's why you will say that part one, very simple. This one is to test your knowledge. B1, you will have the n minus 1. Okay, you will write here r n minus 1 equals to r power 0. Okay, so you have n minus 1 equals to 0, n equals to 1. Eh? Sorry. They don't want n, they want the r. Okay, so we just say that r cannot be 1. Am I right? Can you imagine that if your r is 1, uh, this one I'm talking about the power cannot be 0, right? Another case is that your r also cannot be 1. Because if your r is 1, then the whole thing will be just the same thing. The 1 power n, 1 power n, no matter how many is your n is 90, your n is 5, also your r will still be 1. Then it's just be
So
all
R
power 1
has to
that
be
is moving on.
2.
Not power 1, yeah. Has to be bigger than 1, I would say. Right? That's the concept about GP, okay, where the R cannot be equals to 1, okay. Why? Because if your R is 1, it will be 1 power 5, which is still 1. 1 power 100 is still 1. Do you get it? That's why your R cannot be equals to 1, okay. When R cannot be equals to 1, that means uh, R cannot be equals to K. That's what the question want. Hence, K equals to 1. Do you get me? R cannot be equals to 1, R cannot be equals to K, so we can say that hence K equals to 1. Okay? So part 2, the first term of this GP. First term is always n equals to 1, isn't it? So you want a first term?
Teacher.
Mm?
Wait, so you're saying that K is 1?
Yeah, K is 1.
But what's stopping K from being 0? Because R
Um,
can't be 0 either.
R cannot be 0 also. Oh.
So maybe
If R is 0, then 0 power anything is 0
so
also.
maybe it should be like K less than R, K less than 2.
Mm. Cannot say K less than 2 because you can take the K as negative number, right? It's just that it cannot
Yes.
be equals to 1, it cannot be equals to 0. Do you get me? You see your R value. You see your R value in this function, right? You look at your R value. The R value can actually be negative, can actually be positive, right? It's just that it cannot be equals to 1. Okay, we don't say that it cannot be equals to 0. So because equals to 0, a lot of things actually cannot be equals to 0, right? Just that particularly they want you to be aware that R can never be equals to 1. Because if it's 1, right, it's 1 power anything also still 1, then it's meaningless. It's not a progression. It's just a number, right? So T1, can I move on to number 2?
Okay.
Okay, so they want the first term of the progression, so T1. Every time when they give you a formula, right, it's very easy. You just put in. So the n is 1 minus 1, okay, which will be 0. So now you have 9 over 4. Anything power 0 is 1, right? So it's just 9
9
over
over
4.
4.
Yep, that's it. Okay, done. This is GP. So I think that's it. We will move on to paper 2. Okay, everybody, can I see thumbs up? AP and GP, we are done. We have done most of it. Yes. Good. Actually, this question, right? If you cannot solve, you can use the most traditional way, which is to list down. It will take some time, but it's better than you totally didn't solve it. Oh, so this question usually paper one sure got 4 marks. Paper 2, sure, you got 6 marks. So if you master this chapter, you got 10 marks in hand. So we move on to paper 2. Paper 2, let us solve, yeah, question like this. Usually looks scary at the beginning, but as you do it, right, you'll find that, yeah, it's just like that. It's a matter of practice. Okay, so let's move on to, okay, paper 2. Yeah. Okay, so for question 1, read the question properly first, okay? Then you realize that, yeah, it's not that tough. Okay, Bob took 7 matchstick to form a pattern as shown. So the same pattern can be repeated each time by adding 5 more. Okay, so if each matchstick is 3 cm long, so now you have to calculate the number of matchstick needed to form a pattern of 30 cm long. Okay, so the keyword here is, first thing you have to identify whether is it AP or is it a GP. Okay, is it an AP or is it a GP? So here I will highlight the keyword, which is adding 5 more matchstick, right? So the adding 5 more matchstick, okay, then to give you the length of 30 cm, so that is 2 AP here, right? The first AP is the number of matchstick. The next AP is the length that is also increasing.
Well, teacher
Mm.
says 5 matchsticks, so we just need 10 more. Because, I mean, we just need times 10 more, so we need 50 matchsticks.
No. In
What?
that case, you will get something wrong there because you forgot about the first one. See there, the first 2 matchstick you didn't add in.
Oh, in that case, 48 matchsticks since it's already.
48. No, you are minusing 2. Why you minus 2?
Oh, because, well, it says they wanted 30 cm long, so they already got 6 cm there, so we just have to build the rest of the 34 cm. I mean 24 cm.
Why 24?
Because 30 minus 6 is 24.
Why do you minus 6?
Because the length of the, like, it's already built halfway 30 cm.
Yeah. And
So
then
we
each
just
matchstick is
minus
only
out what we
3.
don't need.
Each one only 3. What? Why
Yes.
you minus 6? Why you minus 6? Okay, yeah. Let us analyze it slowly. Okay, then we will come back to your question, Jasmine. Okay, so for this one, you like what you first mentioned, it is correct because you know that you total need 30 cm, right? And then you have 3 cm each, which means there's a 10 times here lah. Okay, that's what you know. From here to here, there will be a 10 times, right? 10 times. Okay, so you know that 7 is to form the pattern. Why 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this first one is 7.
Oh
So
wait,
you have
teacher.
your T1 is 7. Yeah.
Teacher, sorry, bottom row is 8. 8, I'm sorry. 8. 8
Okay.
more at the
8.
bottom.
Why 8?
Because 10 times, then after that already
No,
got
no,
2,
no.
so the rest is 8.
Yeah, but total is 10 times. You are right. Okay. So now you cannot count like that. Otherwise, you will confuse. Or okay, you can do your way and then you add back here, these 2 here. That is already in a pattern. That is fine. Okay. Now let me teach you a faster way or a easier way that it will prevent mistakes. Okay. So you see, like you say, this pattern will repeat 10 times in order for you to get the 30 cm length. right? The 30 cm length. Okay, so now you realize that 10 times will be actually T10, right? By means the first one is 7, and then until you do 10 times more, okay, then you actually think that T10 will give you 30 cm. Agree? Because each time 3, next one 3, then total 30 cm is what they want from here to here, right? So it will be T10, which means 10 times you will achieve that 30 cm already. Am I right? So now you put it into the T10 formula that you know. Okay, so T10 will be A plus 9D. So what is your A here? Your first A will be yeah. Okay, your first A will be 7 matchstick, right? And then you will have 9. Then the next one, each matchstick will be 5 matchstick, right? Because why? Back to the questions that they actually want the number of matchstick needed. So here you are looking at each time adding the 3 is the cm, but you are focusing on the matchstick that can form this. So that's why your first one it used 7 matchstick. The next one adding the 5 matchstick to form another 3 cm. Next one another 5 matchstick to form another 3 cm. So focusing on number of matchstick. Okay, so you are getting 9, and then your D will be each time 5. So in short, you are doing this, which will be 52 matchstick. So just now, like what Jasmine did, right? So she actually got it. She said that each one 5, so 10 times will be 50. Yes. But don't forget that the first one has, yeah, I haven't finished. The first one, you have actually 2 extra because you need the first 2 to start, right? So these first 2, which will be these 2 here, which is not in your CM. Do you realize that? So that's why you have to add in 2 more matches and not the minus 2 matches like you
Oh,
mentioned
okay.
just now. All right, so you're getting 52. Can I see hands? This kind of question, Tashwini, you have to do more so that you won't confuse. Yeah. Tash, are you with me? Yes, let's move on to part B. Yes, good. Okay, let's go to part B. Part B say that now they focus on the length pula. You see that? So part A they ask for matchstick. Part B they ask for the length. They want the length of the pattern from point A if Bob used 92 matchstick altogether. Okay, so here you have to find out that these 92 matches is how many multiple of your 5, isn't it? It's how many multiple of your 5, which means how many times of the the 3 cm. Then you convert back the 3 cm back to the number of matches. Do you get me? Because each 3 cm is equivalent to 5 matchstick. Okay, so in this case for 92, you will first find out what is um, the term. Okay, because you know that T1 is the first term. Then each subsequent term you add 5, right? So this is AP, and then for the anthem to reach, for anthem to reach 92. Okay, so you are using A, which is 7 again. Wait, yeah, 92, correct. So 7 plus n minus 1 d is your every time 5 matches, right? Equals to 92. So 5n minus 5 equals to 92 minus 7. 5n equals to this one you have 85, 80, 90, right? Press calculator. 92 minus 7 plus 5. Okay, so you're going to get 90. So n will be 90 divided by 5, which will give you 18. Okay, so here it tells you that there should be an 18 times. repeatedly, right? So now you will take the 18, then only you times the 3 cm, so that you know that there are total of 54 cm. So that is the answer. Okay, so I repeat, this type of question, you will see that, yeah, this is the exam type question. Because why? They try to confuse you by giving you the length, at the same time they give you the number of matches. Okay, so as I mentioned, number one, you have to know from the questions that it is adding five, adding this each time. So the adding five matchsticks is the one that give you an idea that it should be an AP, right? So after that, you also analyze that first one is 7, all right? Then every time it add 5 matches, and each time the 5 matches is giving you the 3 cm. So that's why you need to find out that actually the 3 cm will be equivalent to 5 matchstick. Okay, then they state that they want 30 cm long. So 30 cm, you have to understand that the 30 cm start from point A. Do you see that? So 30 cm compared to each time 3 cm, so which means there are 10 times of it, which means you have to understand that the T1 started with 7, then each time T2 will be adding 5, adding 5, adding 5. So which means you want to reach 30, it will be 10 times of it, which you have to interpret it as T10. Then from there, the T10, you know that you are calculating T10 and you are finding using the formula that you actually have 52 sticks, because the first one will be using 7 sticks. Is that okay? All right, then the next one, 92. They want to ask you, if you have 92 matches, how many cm can you get? So that's why you have to use back Tn, which you don't know, to find out 92. And after you perform, you realize that the n will be 18. And don't just stop there, because you know that there will be 18 times of repeating pattern, but you don't know total. So you need to times 3 cm for each. Okay, clear? Everybody okay? Then we move on to question number 2. Yeah, my baby woke up already. The signature sound. Moving on. So this question number 2, okay? So diagram shows a few tetrahedrons. The volume of these tetrahedrons follow a GP. So here even better, they straight away told you that this is a GP. Okay. So starting from the smallest. So now they are focusing that the volume is a GP. So write down there, volume is GP. Yeah, volume is GP. Then moving on, given that the sum of the volume of the first and the third, okay, is 20. The sum of the first and the third. This is tricky. Okay, you mentioned here that the sum of the S1. Okay, now if you put S1 plus S3, right, then gone already. Why ne? Because S1 plus S3 means that T1 is your S1 plus S3 means T1 plus T2 plus T3, Then
I
you are
got
wrong.
it, teacher. I got it.
Mm, mm,
First one is 5. Second is 10. Third is
15.
15, and then the
Mm,
fourth is wait.
mm. Never mind.
Oh
Okay,
no.
I know you are
Ah,
fast. Yeah. Let me explain to those who still don't get it. Okay. So here the sum of the first one. So in this case, I won't use S1 and S3. I will use the first one is A, and then I will use the third one. What is the third term? D3, right? D3. I will use like that. It's equals to 20. So AP, we know that this is A. This will be AR squared, right? Equals to 20. Am I right? So let us perform it this way. A plus R squared, we get 20. Am I right? So do I have any other information? Do I have any other information? Whereas the sum of the volume of the second and the fourth is 40. Okay, so the sum, which means my T2 plus my T4 is 40, right? So from here, this one first equation, Second one is this. Okay, so you're going to have AR plus AR power 3 equals to 40. So you have A bracket 1 plus, oh, you can take out R already, right? Okay, I don't want to take out R because later on I want to do it this way. Okay, 2. So now you have to find the common ratio of this progression. Common ratio means you want to find the R, right? And then the volume of the first, the A. So which means here they ask you to find the R first, then only find the A. So you can see these two, right? So to get rid of the A, so that I left with my R, so I can take 2 divided by 1. Okay, so I will have A bracket R plus R cubed over A1 plus R squared. So it will be 40 divided by 20. Okay, so A and A cancel off. Yeah, actually my R can be taken off. So that my 1 plus R squared also can be cancelled. Do you see that? So this one and this one, I get 2. So this one and this one cancel off, so my R equals to 2. With that, I found my R. And then part B, to find that, right, I put in A plus 1 plus R, which is 2 square, equals to 20. So A will be 1 plus 5. 1 plus 4 is 5. So A will be 4. Why not? My A is 4 leh, Jasmine. My A is 4. My next one will be A times R, which is 8. And then my next one will be AR squared, which is 4 times 4, 16. You're wrong.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Mm. So don't guess. Yeah?
Oh, no, I
Try to
was
solve it
trying
this way.
something, but then it didn't work because
Mm.
that's the duty of a scientist. You fail and then you get it right eventually.
Yeah, it's good try. Okay? It's a good spirit there. All right. Any more question? Nope. Then we move on. Anybody else try the paper 2 that you may have question to ask? Tashwini, you have any more questions? I want to focus on the questions that you have tried and you cannot solve. Tashwini the other day asked this question already in the class. Number 8. Okay, she asked number 8 in the class already. Okay, so it's the same thing. All right, so what you need to do is just make sure that when you want to uh, empty the cone, that means it is the Tn that is equals to 0. Okay, and this one number 2 is finding the Sn. Okay, so yeah, can we try this one? This one also it's K-bar. Okay, we try this question before we end today's session. Hmm? Why I got disconnected? Okay, share screen again. Start podcast. All right. Okay, let's start. Okay, so question number 9. Read the question first. Yeah, this one is a bit tricky. Okay, this one is a bit tricky. Okay, let's go on reading it. Okay, first thing, it says that the diagram shows part of the rectangular wall painted in white, blue, and yellow. Okay, putih, biru, and kuning. Okay, so in that order throughout. So the height of the wall is 1.5. Okay, so write down first the height is 1.5. Okay, meter, and then The first panel is 4 cm wide. So here this is 4 cm wide. And subsequent panel is wider by 2 cm. So 4 plus 2, 4 plus 2 plus 2. Okay? So it goes this way. Let me erase first and write properly. So this one is 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, so it is subsequent wider by 2, but this is in cm. So to be safer, I put this become cm first. So this one will become 1.5 times 100. I will get 150 cm. Okay, 150 cm. Okay, yeah. Okay, so let's continue. All right, so it's given that the width, okay, it's given that there are total 50 panel. So here they told you that there are total 50 panel. Okay, so they ask you to find the width of the last panel. Okay, so which means they want the T50 lah. Can I say like that? Because when you analyze like that, right, you have 4, 6, and then 8, and then 10, 12 like that. So you know that the last one is T50, right? Because there are total of 50. So last T will be T50 equals to the length that we don't know. That's why we want to find out. No? So here they are asking us to find the width of the last panel, which means they want us to find T50. Okay, so let us do part A. Okay, part A, they want T50. So T50 will be A plus N minus 1 D. Okay, so A here is the first panel, which is 4 cm. The height is not into consideration yet because it doesn't affect anything with the height. So we just focus on the length of the panel. So they want T50, and then we have plus. N minus 1 will be 49, right? And then our D will
And
be,
2.
yeah, 2. So that's why you will get 4 plus 98. It will be 102 cm. Very easy. You will have 2 marks here. Okay. Then moving on, part A2. Okay, A2, you have the total length of the wall, which means you want to find S, what? S, 50, isn't it? Because you want the total length. So you are finding the sum of all these 50 panels. So you're going to use very easy also, N over 2, right? N over 2, and then uh, you have your 2A plus N minus 1 D. Okay, so N is 50 over 2. Why so ugly my handwriting? 50 over 2. Okay, bracket 2A. A will be our length, 4 cm, the first one, plus 49. D is 2, right? Everybody doing it together? Calculator, please. Okay, is it a must for me to do like that? 25, right? This one will be 8 plus 98. Then calculator, 25 times 106. Anyone?
2,650.
Yeah, 2650 cm. Is that okay? Everybody got it? Or alternatively, a faster method, you can use S50 equals to N over 2 bracket A plus L. Remember I teach you already? Because now you have the last panel that you have just found out in part A1. So you can do a 50 divided by 2. The first panel is 4. The last panel is 102. Isn't that you still come to this one? Same expression, 106, sorry. Okay, so what I want you to see is that the same method here, you will produce the same expression. Okay, and you will get the same answer. It's just whether you can see it. Yeah, it's actually not wrong. Method 1 or method 2 also okay both. Okay, this is method 1. All right, good. Let's move on to the last one. Now they ask you, Which panel has an area of 11.2? Okay, so here part B, they requires you to know area is actually your height times your width. Okay, so bear in mind 1.11 meter square, meter square. So everything has to change to meter square. Meter square. Okay, so now my okay, 11.1, my height is 1.5 no just now, right? Times the width is not n, times the width is the one that I don't know. Okay, so times width is the one that I don't know, so I have to find out my width first, right? My width will be 1.11 divided by 1.5. What is that? 1.11 times 1.5, what do you get? You get 0 point. Calculator. You get 0 point. Come, somebody give me the answer.
72.
No, 72, 0.74 meter, right? Press again. Yeah, thank you, Kaishan.
Yeah, teacher,
0.74
it's
meter.
0.74.
You don't read it as 0.74, my dear, it's 0.74. All the
Oh,
numbers behind the decimal should be read as a single digit by themselves. So 0.74 meter. So very careful, we change to 74 cm first, because later we're going to make silly mistake again. So now they want us to find out which width will be 74 cm in order for it to become the area of 1.11. Is that okay? So now 74 cm, you need to find out, okay, Tn is equals to 74. So put in your Tn that you know, your A will be 4, right? Plus n minus 1d, which is 2, equals to 74. So I think this one not difficult, right? 2n minus 2 equals to 70. 2n equals to 72. N equals to 63, 36. 36. Am I right? So hence you know that uh, the 36 panel, okay, will have the, so we can write down a bit, 36 panel will have the um, area of 1.11. Okay, so that's it for solving this kind of questions. So I just want to highlight to you again the question like matchstick. They give you the length of 3 cm for every 5 matchsticks, and then they what do you call that? They try to use the cm to confuse you. So remember, you look at the question focusing on matchstick, which means you have to fall back to the number of matchstick for the A, and then from there, from the given cm, you divide back to get the terms. Same thing here in these questions, the panel also the same. The length is the one that adding, and then the width comes the height only when they ask you about the what do you call it, when they ask you about the area, then only you use the height. Okay, so I think it is very straightforward lah. Okay, just that the information given will confuse you, so as long as you write down, okay, analyze like what we did just now, should be no problem. So let us do a summary, okay, before we end today's session. So today we do progression where you have AP and GP, remember that? Okay, so for AP, only two formula, Tn, which is A plus n minus 1d. So always remember A is the first term, D is the common difference, right? And then the Tn. Sn equals to n over 2, either A plus L or n over 2 bracket 2a plus n minus 1 d. So this one is to find the sum. And always remember, if the question requires you to find sum for the uh, um, fourth term to sum of the ninth term, okay, then you have to take sum of 9 minus sum of 3. Because the idea is that you sum of 9 is actually T1 plus T2 plus T3 until T7, T8, T9, right? And if they want T9, okay, and if they want only S4, which means they want T4, right? Which means they want the sum of the fourth term. They want T4 up to T9 only, which means they are not interested in these first three, right? They are not interested in these first three. That's why you take S9, the sum of the first 9 term minus the sum of the first 3 terms. Then you will get your S4. Then you will have your, no, not S4. I write here wrongly. It should be T. Yeah, correct. Then you will get your sum of the first uh 4 term until the sum of the 9 term. Okay, so this is how we interpret. All right, so then the next one will be GP. GP, you have 3 formula, also the same, the n term, which is A times R power n minus 1. And you have your GP, the sum also, you are finding it, where you have the formula for the R bigger than 1 and R lesser than 1, okay, which will be the A, K1, either 1 minus R power n over 1 minus R, okay, for the R less than 1 or the other way around, right? And then you have the last one, which is sum to the infinity, which is A over 1 minus R. Okay, so this sum of the infinity, it applies when you see the number is like getting smaller and smaller and it's infinite. Okay, so you will use this sum to the infinity, or the question will give you the sum to the infinity, the keyword. All right, so that's it about today. Any more question to ask? Can I see that today? Do I help you? If yes, then can you raise your hand and tell me? Okay, thank you, Kashan, Tana, Tashwini, Umaira, Santini. Okay,
Teacher,
Jasmine, is it
sorry.
working? Yeah.
What does the arrow mean?
Arrow. Which arrow?
S4 is like arrow S9.
Oh, which means sum of the fourth term. You want the fourth term to ninth term. Maybe I should write like that.
Oh, wait, I get so it's like S4 to
No, I shouldn't
9.
write. I should write T4 to T9.
Ah, yeah, that makes more
The
sense.
sum of T4 to T9.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Thank
so
you,
here
teacher.
also I should clarify here. I just get, okay, it's sum of T4 to T9. Okay, it's the sum. SUM. Okay, any more question? If no, then we'll end today's lesson here. Have a very good holiday, everybody. All right, I shall see you. I will send this link later. All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, teacher. Bye, teacher.
Thank you,
Bye,
teacher.
happy
Bye.
holiday. Yeah,
Happy holiday.
yes, happy holiday. Yes, let me stop the recording. Jess, you want to ask me